Hey. Let me make some adjustments since I'm on a little early. Sorry, I should have checked my background. I was gonna go outside, but I figured it's not worth moving everything because I'm gonna make this really quick. Just a quick message for the week ahead. I tried to film this yesterday, but for some reason my phone was acting really crazy and it recorded it in pieces, so I lost most of the reading. But some really good messages came out, so I wanted to try again. And obviously my goal is always to come on more frequently. However, there we go. That's better. I also need it to be organic. I don't want to just be coming on just to come on. So I hope all is well with you guys. Hopefully you didn't miss me too much, which you can never depend on readings to get you through life. It should just be a helping hand every now and then. You shouldn't be using lifelines 100% of the time. So, oh, Page of Swords came out. There could be some learning. Maybe, I think someone needs to ask some questions. King of Wands also came out. Somebody's very determined, but there's a lot to learn with the Page of Swords being here with the King of Wands. Very determined. Somebody's a visionary. There's a lot to learn. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Read the fine print. Pay attention to your surroundings. Someone could be watching you. Someone could be looking at you on social media, reading your text messages, going through old conversations, things like that. Or not necessarily spying on you, but just keeping an eye on you, admiring you. That could be what's taking place. All right, before I get too deep into this, I just want to pre-shuffle my decks. See if anyone wanted to come on and catch me while I was live. I have my Angel Answers Oracle deck, and I also have the Self-Care, the Sacred Self-Care Oracle deck, which are new to my collection. So I will be using these two decks as well to ask additional or to pull additional messages for the collective. These messages can pertain to your past, present, future, a mixture of all three. Excuse me, keep that in mind. Let's start with the self-care cards. The self-care deck. Are there any messages for the collective? Divine Spirit, Spirit Guides, Angels, Archangels, Guardian Angels, and Ancestors. Thank you for protecting me and guiding me. Providing me with the messages for the collective. Any messages for the collective? Self-care. For the first week of September. Oh, we have intuition. I feel like that Page of Swords is kind of like pay attention to the context clues, and also ground yourself came out. So we have 28 intuition. And ground yourself, 25. 28 breaks down to 8, 9, 10, which is the number of completion. It represents a new beginning. So there could be an awakening or like a new level being reached with intuition. Grounding yourself may help unlock that next level. It feels like something, feels like kind of like an initiation, like something wants to take place, but Spirit is waiting on you to ground yourself to be able to integrate these changes, if that makes sense. Ground yourself, I think, is very important. I think these two cards go hand in hand, and it's funny that ground yourself is the card that fell on the ground. How about that for irony? I'm going to read from the book about both of these cards to see if there's anything else that wants to come out. All right, I listen to my intuition as it leads me on my highest path. Intuition is the insight that comes before thought and without thinking. It is an innate knowledge of what is in alignment to our highest good. It is the energy of the universe that directs us on our life path, nudging us toward the choices that will fuel our growth. Intuition resides within the heart and goes beyond logic or reason. Its messages are shared without judgment or need to be defined. I'm sorry, or shared without judgment or need to be defined. Reinforce intuition's essential role in maintaining your well-being and connection to the spiritual realm by listening to it and acting upon it regularly. There could be some training or some learning how to use your intuition, learning how to trust your intuition. I feel like somebody has a lot of intuition. Just judging, going back to that Page of Swords and the King of Wands. The Wands is a suit that represents spirituality and spiritual energy and spiritual messages. And the King of Wands would be a highly ascended energy, and it's like the Page of Wands being there. Maybe you're around other people who are ascended and they know how to use their intuition, or they're very dynamic and very magnetic people, and they're very active, or they're very in tune with their masculine energy. They know how to put their intuition to use, or they know how to use their intuition rather. And maybe you're learning how to do that, or you need to learn how to do that. And this is what this reading is here to inform you of, or to make you aware of. I feel that it's very strongly as someone's learning how to use their intuition, or observing or watching people around them, like, okay, this person is intuitive. Like, you're starting to understand, the dots are starting to connect. Intuitively, you're starting to understand things, and you may not be able to verbalize what you understand. It may be a subconscious understanding, or it could just be like a feeling, but things are starting to make sense to you. So maybe you're starting to pay attention, or that is beginning to be developed, or Spirit wants you to ground yourself so that it can be further developed. Reinforce intuition's role in maintaining your well-being and connection to the spiritual realm by listening to it and acting upon it regularly. So yeah, you could be observing other people doing that and learning, okay, that's what that looks like. Keep track of when you receive an intuitive message and how often it turns out to be right. That could be where you are too. Like, my mind said this, or I had the voice in my head that told me to do that and I didn't listen. Maybe you didn't know how to identify it as intuition, and now you're learning how to do so. Learning how to trust it, learning how to use it. And as you invite Spirit to help you, you will get more like skill drills is what I call them. So it'll come. Let's see. Yeah, keep track of either when you receive an intuitive message and how often it turns out to be right, either by making a mental note or writing it down. You could definitely keep a journal, especially like a dream journal too. You could keep stuff like that in there. It could be a little handheld pocket book. It doesn't have to be a full, tablet. Whatever you want it to be, just to keep track of it. A journal, a diary, whatever. As you notice the trend of your intuition as a guiding force, you'll come to trust it. You'll come to trust it more often. There's also a journal prompt here. Recall a time when you intuitively knew something was a bad idea, but you ignored your intuition. How can you learn from this experience? And I feel like that's kind of like, as a collective, where you are, if this resonates with you. I feel like you are in a place where some of you could be like, I should have trusted my intuition. I could have avoided all of these mistakes, or I could have avoided so many mishaps or pitfalls or whatever. And you could be kind of beating yourself up for not having used your intuition. But you can't stay stuck in the past. You have to learn how to develop it and trust yourself moving forward so that you can avoid experiencing disappointing circumstances again. All right, let's look at ground yourself. All right, ground yourself. Come into the present moment. Connect with the earth and stabilize yourself in a harmonic state through grounding. This practice helps you integrate higher messages and callings by bringing them fully into your physical body through the earth's energy field. To ground yourself, sit or walk barefoot on the ground. Meditate on the sensation of connecting with the earth. I'm sorry, I don't know why I read it like that. There's no comma. Close your eyes and imagine your body growing roots into the ground. Visualize your roots visualize those roots going deep all the way into the center of the planet. Picture yourself drawing the energy from the earth's core and using it to nourish your mind, body, and spirit. When you open your eyes, allow yourself to feel calm, centered, and clear. You can also go take a dip into the ocean, go to the beach, into a river, a lake, some natural body of water, something like that. Go put your feet in some soil, in the grass. You can use the pavement, but it helps if it's earthy. Anywho, you can also ground yourself by eating a nourishing meal that contains root vegetables, gardening, shaping things into clay, or spending time in nature. Find an activity that makes you feel fully present in your body and appreciative of the connection you have to the earth. It's necessary to connect with the earth so that the connection and the frequency is clear. So when the earth wants to communicate with you, which is what our intuition is, it's more clear. There's less static. You get all the details. You know what I'm saying? You see the full picture. You're not missing any key points or things like that. So connecting with the earth is very necessary for developing your intuition, for strengthening it, or just grounding in general. But since I do think these are playing off of one another, if you feel out of touch with your intuition for any reason, grounding is always my first go-to. Like if I feel like my intuition is off, or if I feel like I can't trust myself, or I'm like, oh, is that my intuition, or is that a little inner child voice? You know what I'm saying? If I feel like I can't differentiate the both from the both, or from whatever is going on in my mind, I know that I probably, for me, it's usually lack of grounding. Like, okay, I haven't been meditating. I need to take care of my body, take care of my vessel. Yeah, so make sure you're eating of the earth. Make sure you're participating, or participating with, engaging with the earth in some form or fashion. Go outside when it rains or something. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever you can do to be a part of the earth, to get a natural part of the earth to meet you and your being, your body, then do so, and that will help you ground. And just say your intentions as you do so that you're connected, and then meditate on your connection for however long you need to, and do that for as often as you need to. There's also a journal prompt here. How do you feel after taking time to connect with the earth physically and through a visualization meditation? You can definitely do a visualization meditation. I definitely recommend finding a tree, finding a body of water, finding some soil, some grass, gardening, actually putting your hands in it, your toes in it, connecting with the earth in a more direct way. So let's see what tarot cards want to come out regarding these two cards. Again, we have intuition and grounding. So I think Spirit wants to send you a message that either intuition is either upgrading, or it's time to reconnect to the intuition. It feels a bit like an ascension for most of you. For a lot of you, you could be brand new to intuition and not understanding how to use it, how to trust it, how to differentiate it from any other voice in your mind. So this could be all new to you. Either way, it's a new level, new heights. Are there any messages that want to come out for the collective regarding intuition? Regarding intuition. You can develop your third eye. Amethyst is a great crystal to use to sleep with under your pillow, for psychic protection, to develop your psychic energy. The Three of Pentacles came out. I feel like there could be, this gives me apprenticeship vibes. I feel like at the beginning when I mentioned that the Page of Swords and the King of Wands was like, it's like a teacher to the student type of energy. And I feel like this is you collaborating with other like-minded individuals. So this is you finding people who you can learn with, who you can test out your skills, who are also intuitive beings, who are also learning to develop their intuition. Try to find a psychic development class, or watch videos on YouTube. Like, find a community of other people who understand the questions that you have, who may be able to answer some of those questions, or who you can kind of practice together with. There's a lot of handy information on like Pinterest, YouTube, like there's so many different platforms, Facebook, there's so many different communities, groups, seminars, things of that nature that you can attend, watch, or just find other people who understand what you're going through, what phase of your life you're in, or what you're trying to develop, or what you're trying to learn. There's always like-minded individuals. So I think there's a need to seek those people and to join those communities so that you can learn, like you can sharpen your skills. You guys can learn from each other. You can teach other people, they can teach you, vice versa. And then you make friends and you have business colleagues also. So if it's like, if you want to learn Reiki, you need to start going to Reiki circles. If you want to, you know, you just need to surround yourself around the people who are doing what you want to be doing. Simply put, I could give a million examples, but I think you get it. Anything else for intuition? Thank you. Okay, so we have Three of Cups, Three of Pentacles, and Three of Cups. This definitely is communal energy. I think this represents new friends. It also represents celebrating life, celebrating new events. I feel like this is a new level of ascension. You could be celebrating your birthday or some other life event, but I feel like this is also kind of like celebrating your new tribe, celebrating your new friends, celebrating your newfound ground, your newfound home with these people, your newfound community within either the spiritual community. Maybe it's a friend or family who you reconnect with in a new way on this level, whomever or whichever entities you are connecting with, just celebrating that and feeling like you finally belong. It's kind of how that feels. It feels very warm and inviting. Is there anything else for intuition? Any other messages for intuition? Oh, the moon. Okay. You could be getting a lot of messages in your dreams. Definitely take the advice of putting amethyst underneath your pillow. Since this came out, there could be a lot of messages or a lot of activity in the dream space. Keep a dream journal. Keep an intuitive hit journal, whatever you want to call it. An intuition journal, diary, whatever. But the moon card can represent maybe there's some fear. Maybe it feels a little bit uncomfortable relying on your intuition. There could also just be a lot of intuition that is just very subconscious to you, that you are learning how to bring it up to the surface so that you can train it and use it and develop it and all of that. This is Pisces energy. We do have the full moon in Pisces. This is a perfect time to meditate and set your intentions and really try to, the full moon is on the 5th, I want to say. I could be wrong. It's like Tuesday. No, it's like on the 2nd or 3rd. I'm so wrong. It's on Wednesday. It's on Wednesday. Don't quote me. The full moon in Pisces, which is a great time to meditate and set your, like I said, set your intentions. You can do a ritual if you want to. You can do a candle lighting ceremony. You can, like, the veil is thinner on a full moon. So if there's something that you've been wanting to become clear to you via your intuition as a channel, set the intention for that, ground and meditate. If you want to meditate every day up until the full moon, you can do that. And I have no doubt that it will be made clear for you. If not intuitively, it could be made clear to you in your dreams. It can also represent a deep knowing, an inner knowing, a subconscious knowing, which is, I believe, what intuition can be described as well. So you have that inner knowing, and I think it just needs to be brought to the surface, and with the right people, the right environment, the right skills, the right tests, the right experiments, you can really train it and hone that skill so that it's not, because the moon card can represent fears or fear around making a decision or just weariness or the unknown, the subconscious in general. So I think you'll feel a lot more comfortable in the dark or approaching the unknown, knowing how to use your intuition, if that makes sense. And during these times, everybody needs to be learning how to develop their intuition so that you can develop more trust and lose the fear. So let's look at ground yourself. Are there any messages for the collective regarding ground yourself? One more shuffle. Show me ground yourself for the collective, please. So I have the Three of Wands and the Four of Swords. You could be anticipating something. This feels like waiting on something. It feels like heavy anticipating, like wanting something so bad. And it actually, like being in your path, but that desire for it is kind of like pushing it away. I don't want to say I don't like the way this feels, but it feels kind of needy. And instead of like being open to something coming your way, it's just like thinking about it all the time. It's like resting in the back of your mind. With the Four of Swords being here though, I don't know, this could also be looked at as visualization. I feel like there's something you're anticipating, and there's something you really want very badly, and it's like you keep looking over your shoulder, waiting on something to happen, and either you should be resting or not concerned with it or not worried. It feels like worry. That's what it's, yeah, that's what's bothering me about it. This three of Wands feels like worry. And the Four of Swords should be rest, peace of mind, relaxing the mind, meditating, taking a vacation. Maybe you're thinking about taking a vacation. Or maybe there's just, yeah, maybe that's what you're daydreaming about. Like a vacation. Maybe some of you have a vacation coming up. Maybe you've been working really hard. Maybe, you know, you're an essential worker. You haven't been off this whole, you know, shutdown quarantine period. Maybe you've been busy, or you're anticipating something, or there's something you're expecting to happen. And it feels like you should be resting. You should be resting. You should be grounding. I feel like I'm talking to myself. You should be resting. You should be grounding. But it feels like, but I have to do this. I have to do this. And I have to do this. It feels like all this anticipation, all this need, all this worry. That's what's bothering me. There should be probably more rest, more ease of the mind, more relaxing, more resting. Anything else for ground yourself? Is there anything else for ground yourself for the collective? Any other messages regarding ground yourself? One of these cards flipped over, but I'm not taking it. I just want to flip it back over. Okay, I just saw the Knight of Pentacles. Take it slow, take your time is what came to me. Take it slow, take it easy, take your time. Don't rush. Maybe that's spirit telling you to ease up on the anticipation and not like have some patience, kind of. Page of Pentacles. So this could be school. You could be learning something in the beginning, in the very, very beginning, before I even was prepared to do the reading. The Page of Swords was the very first card to come out with the King of Wands. So you could very much so be in a learning state of being, or state of mind, or mindset, or whatever. The Page of Pentacles is very studious. Investing. It's like you're investing your time, your energy, your efforts, possibly your money into something. And it's like, instead of allowing the seed to grow, you're checking on it every 5 minutes. With this Three of Wands, it's like, is it here yet? Is it here yet? Is it here yet? And it's like, you should just be resting. You should be resting. You should be studying. You should be learning. And I think this means observing, like in this grounding state, whatever it is that you're doing to ground. Like, say you're building a garden, and that's a process for you, and it's a very grounding process. And it's like, until you're done with the garden, instead of enjoying the moment and taking in the experience, and watching the transformation and recording the process even, or documenting how you feel, paying attention to the growth of your body, your maturity level, your skill level, your talents, you know what I'm saying? And instead of paying attention to all of that, you're looking at the aesthetic and you're waiting on it to be the whole product, and you're not taking in all of the little details, all of the little changes, and not appreciating the entire process. And it's like that lack of patience is preventing you from being able to take in all of the little details of the process. And I think that's kind of what needs to be taking place here. It's like, are you paying attention to the fact that you're more agile, or that you have more patience, or that you learned a new skill, or that you like, are you paying attention to the way that you're growing, or what you're learning, just what you're learning and what you're gaining in general? I feel like that's what that particular card wants to come out and say. We have, I'm not going to count the minor arcana, but we have Pisces, which is the moon card, which I think is beautiful because our next full moon on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever it is in Pisces. So I think that's a perfect time to ground yourself, do a ritual, do a spiritual bath, to go to the beach, go to your garden, go to the park, to the swimming pool, to, I don't know, somewhere to ground. Go out in nature if you can. Go outside if it rains. Just whatever you can do to connect with nature, to ground yourself and set your intentions, to help you develop your intuition. Excuse me. I think also developing your intuition helps you understand the difference between being impatiently waiting for something and resting. And I think you need to be resting or investing, or at least investing your time elsewhere, because of the way these cards are. It's like, instead of resting and investing your time elsewhere, you're not resting your mind. You're thinking about and looking for something to show up before it's probably ready to. So just keep that in mind. All right. Are there any messages from the Angel Answers Oracle deck for the collective regarding this spread? Any messages for the collective regarding this spread? I'm like, this was supposed to be super quick. I can't believe it ended up being 30 minutes. I guess I did ramble for about 5 in the beginning. All right, forgiveness. You could be learning forgiveness. That could be coming up for you. Maybe forgiving yourself, forgiving other people around you. I want to take one more. I think it's forgiving yourself, because how I said, like, learning to, with that intuition card, is like going over the past and like thinking about all those times you didn't trust yourself, or you didn't use your intuition and you should have, or you knew better and you didn't do what your intuition was nudging you to do. Learning to forgive yourself in those situations and move past it, like let it go, not harbor that energy of beating yourself up. Any other messages? Thank you. Don't stop. All right. And maybe, yeah, maybe there's a need to rest and ground every now and then, but I don't think Spirit is telling you to stop. I think there's just a need of redirecting your energy that needs to take place. So we have forgiveness and don't stop. Let's read from the book about each of these cards to see what else needs to be said. Forgiveness can work miracles. When you release the past, a weight is lifted from your shoulders. A sense of freedom washes over you. Ask your angels to help you let go of the sadness and pain caused by others so that you can be free. This card can also refer to a need for self-forgiveness. It's time to let go of any guilt you are holding on to regarding past mistakes you may have made. Give yourself credit for having tried your best, even if the results weren't what you would have liked. Focus on the changes you've made since then. And focus on the changes you've made since then and have made that have made you a better person. Also, this could be also the person continuously looking at the past, looking back, trying to or anticipating. This is I'm like, this is good. This either is for very few people, one person, or it's like you're looking for probably forgiveness from someone who you know, like you're looking for an apology from someone who you know will never give it to you. And it's like you're learning how to mend that relationship or mend that situation within so that you can let it go. Learning how to forgive the other person. Or you could be looking over the past, waiting on some things to kind of fix themselves instead of realizing that all you really need to do to let this past situation go is forgive yourself, instead of waiting on things like, oh, there's still a way this can be salvaged, or there's still a way that we can make this work, or there's still a way that I can redeem myself, or I can right this wrong. And it's like sometimes a mistake was just a mistake that you made, that you needed to make this lesson apparent for you. Sometimes there's not a need for you to fix it or correct the action. Sometimes it was just for the experience, and it's like somebody's trying to correct something that they just need to move on from. And it's like they keep looking or anticipating things to be one way, and it's actually like, no, what you should be gaining from this is actually just forgiveness, learning how to make peace with it and let it go and move on. And then don't stop. Let's look at don't stop. All right, this is not the time to give up. Continue to move in the direction of your hopes, dreams, and plans. You are on the right path, and you should see progress as soon as you stay the course. It's very important that you stand your ground and believe in yourself. Don't let others intimidate you into quitting. Just because they don't have your vision doesn't mean you shouldn't follow your heart. So this also feels like anticipating others to kind of come along and come around to you trusting your intuition instead of using logic. You know what I'm saying? Waiting on your old friends to get your new lifestyle. Waiting on the approval of your parents or your loved ones to give you the okay or the approval or the validation in your new lifestyle, when you should just be kind of resting, letting it go, and investing your time, your energy, your effort, and your money into grounding, into developing your intuition, into using your gifts. It's like part of your energy is being wasted towards anticipating something. The Three of Wands can also be like in the reverse. It would be like having unrealistic expectations, and it's kind of what that feels like a little bit. It's like blind optimism, or like I said, worrying about what other people think, worrying about not being accepted, and just giving your energy away in a very scattered way. And that is taking from the energy that you could be investing into grounding yourself, training your intuition and developing it, and things of that nature. So use this full moon to set your intentions, to let go of anything that needs to be moved, to make space for the beautiful things that Spirit wants to bring into your life. New things can't come in if old things are taking up space. So connect with the earth, with your grounding. Set your intentions for what you want to be removed. If you have something specifically that needs to be removed, you can ask that specific thing be taken. Or if there's something subconscious to you that you are unaware of that needs to be sorted out, ask for that. But also, don't expect things like that, unrealistic expectations things. Don't expect things to still be the same way when you're going in a new direction. You can't expect to get to new destinations by taking the same route that you're used to taking. You can't drive to the moon, you know what I'm saying? You can't drive to Asia from the USA, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna have to hop in a different vehicle, and you can't expect that ride to feel like the ride that you've been taking. That's the best way I can make that make sense for you guys. So I hope this makes sense. Please check and see when the full moon is, depending on where you are in the world. Also, I believe it's on the 5th, full moon in Pisces, and I don't have the exact time. If you use the moon calendar app, it will tell you every day what phase of the moon it's in, what sign it's in, and all of that jazz. And I think there's even a journal included. So if you want to keep track of your intuitive hits or your dreams in there. It's very private. Nobody would probably think to look there to look at something like that if they wanted to invade your privacy. But I hope that's helpful. I hope this reading made sense. I hope you come back to watch future readings, and I hope to be back very, very, very soon with another reading for you guys. And I think I'm going to stick to collective readings because zodiac readings are just too much for me right now, and my life is too unpredictable, and I don't want to break promises. So I'm just going to come on when I can and give you what I can when I can, and I hope you appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace, love, and light. Bye.